where they think that you are operating is already less. Except that if it's in alignment with the word, but see, the word that people have been taught, then you might seem like you out of alignment. But if we really delve into it, just like what he's sharing now, about the issues of with regard to sin and us being born again, and then so once that is shared, or people will have a revelation on it, that same person would think totally different of it. They wouldn't see it from that, which it shouldn't be emphasized from that position anyway. And that's clear. I don't think it would take a lot of lessons like Bible studies to see that. Like, go through the Bible and find out. And then see, even though a person might say, well, that's the way that it's always been taught to me. Now, what happened, it would challenge, like, I'm not going to call the person's name, but you remember I asked the person specifically that, okay, your pastor say one thing. And then if the Bible said another thing, and you saw it in the Bible yourself and caught a revelation that the Bible is saying something different than what your pastor or your denomination is saying, which one would you follow? Which one would you adhere to and hope that will bring success into your life? Because there's no sense of following it, paying attention to nothing like driving instructions if you don't think you're going to do better. Why go to a driving school unless you're going to learn how to drive so you can do better? Or whatever it is that you're learning. And so that's what the pastors and the teachers are supposed to be doing. And so this part where it comes about sin is a real touchy thing. And I think a lot of people don't want to deal with it because even the implication on themselves might be that, oh, you just trying to get out of your sin. Like we in sin once we get born again. Like that's really true. No, it can't be true if God says, I remove your sin as far as the east is from the west, and I won't remember it no more. So when do he remember it? And besides that, why would he tell us that unless he's trying to tell us something? Because even if that's how he felt about it, he didn't have to tell us, so we'll know that's how he's looking at it. Because don't we look at the implication if we was sinning or sinning, that it's against God. Because other than that, something we did that we felt, or somebody else did felt was sin, guess what we think? We think that that's something that's wrong and against God. So, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, isn't that how we look at it? So then what God has to say about it should become more important. It's not to try to say, like he teaching the Romans over there talking about, okay then, shall we, since grace may, if where sin doth abound, grace much more abound. So he teaching now, talking about, then should we say, okay, let's just go ahead and sin then, because grace going to much more abound. And then he say, oh, God forbid. How shall we who are dead to sin live therein any longer? So the point is, it's not to try to say that, to try to say, okay, yeah, let's do this that would be contrary to what we learned when we was growing up, what's right and wrong, and what's good or evil, and all these kind of things, and especially with regard to sin. And we definitely gonna think sin is evil because it's against God, it's against somebody, against ourselves. It's all those aspects. The thing is that once we get born again, we supersede it. That's because we entered into grace. Now, since we superseded it, should we just do that because we superseded it? No. That's not the point anymore. To get to a place where you supersede what would hold you down or what would mess you up in life or keep you apart from God. Once you have overcome that, why would you utilize that? Just like it says, why would we live therein anymore? In other words, the teaching is not clear about why should we live therein anymore. The implication that's taught is, should we keep doing this? Should we do this so grace can abound? No, the point about should we live therein anymore, shall that become how we operate in order to increase with God, so the manifestations of the things he's already given us. Because the Bible declares that he's already given us everything that pertains to life and godliness. That's when we get born again. And now the process of unlocking it, unfolding it out in your day-to-day life, that's what becomes significant now. And until we pay attention to those things and they become predominant, then sin runs rampant and you get to